The Crenshaw family had been searching for a fresh start. After a string of bad luck and financial troubles, they stumbled upon an unbelievable deal: an old Victorian mansion nestled deep in the countryside. It was spacious, with ornate woodwork, sprawling grounds, and a charm that seemed plucked from another era. The price? Almost suspiciously low. But with their dwindling savings, it felt like a godsend. "We're going to make this work," said Emma, the matriarch, as they unloaded boxes from their rusty van. Her husband, Mark, nodded, though a chill ran down his spine as he stared at the mansion. Their two children, Max, a curious 12-year-old, and Lily, an energetic 6-year-old, raced each other to the front door. Inside, the house felt alive. The grand staircase groaned under their footsteps, and the air was thick, as though it hadn't been disturbed in decades. There were oddities, too: a cracked mirror in the foyer, faded portraits of unsmiling strangers, and a peculiar scent of damp earth. The first night, the family gathered around the fireplace, laughing as they unpacked. But as darkness fell, the laughter faded. The mansion, once inviting in the daylight, turned ominous under the moonlight. Shadows stretched unnaturally, whispers echoed in empty hallways, and the portraits seemed to watch them with silent malice. Lily was the first to notice something was off. "There's a lady in my room," she whispered to her mother that night. Emma brushed it off as a child's imagination, but as she tucked Lily in, a faint creak came from the wardrobe. Emma froze, heart pounding. When she mustered the courage to check, it was empty, save for a single shoe covered in dust. The following days were strange. Items disappeared and reappeared in odd places, doors slammed shut without wind, and the children complained of voices calling their names. Mark, ever the skeptic, dismissed it as settling noises of an old house. But Max was determined to investigate. Armed with a flashlight and his phone, he ventured into the attic one afternoon. What he found was a trove of forgotten belongings: yellowed letters, a rusted locket, and an old journal. The journal belonged to a woman named Eleanor Blackwood, the mansion's original owner. Max skimmed through the brittle pages, piecing together a tragic tale. Eleanor had been accused of witchcraft and ostracized by the nearby village. When her family fell ill under mysterious circumstances, she was blamed and allegedly cursed the house before vanishing. Meanwhile, Emma grew increasingly uneasy. She began seeing fleeting glimpses of a shadowy figure in her peripheral vision, and the faint smell of lavender, the same scent that filled the air whenever strange events occurred, seemed to follow her. One night, Lily woke the entire family with a piercing scream. They rushed to her room and found her pointing at the corner. "She's there!" she cried. No one else could see anything, but the temperature dropped noticeably, and Emma swore she heard a low guttural growl. Max, clutching Eleanor's journal, shared what he had learned. The family debated leaving, but with their limited funds, they had no other options. They decided to confront the presence instead. That night, armed with candles and the journal, the Crenshaws gathered in the living room. Max had discovered a passage that hinted at a ritual to appease Eleanor's spirit. The instructions were vague: burn lavender, recite her name, and make an offering. They lit the candles and burned dried lavender Emma had found in the garden. As Max read Eleanor's name aloud, the air grew heavier. Shadows writhed on the walls, and a deafening hum filled the room. Lily clung to her mother as Mark shielded them. Suddenly, the figure of a woman appeared. Her face was pale and gaunt, her eyes hollow. "Why have you disturbed my peace?" she hissed. Emma stepped forward, trembling but resolute. "We mean no harm. We just want to live here peacefully." Eleanor's apparition stared at them, her expression softening for a moment. "They stole my peace," she said. "They accused me, cursed me, and left me to rot. I won't leave until they've paid." Realizing that Eleanor wasn't entirely malevolent, Max asked, "How can we help you move on?" Eleanor pointed to the locket Max had found in the attic. "Bury it with me," she said, her voice cracking, "and speak my name so they remember the truth." The family followed her instructions, finding an unmarked grave beneath the ancient oak tree in the backyard. As they placed the locket in the earth and recited her name, a gust of wind swept through the yard, and Eleanor's presence faded. The mansion was never the same after that night. The air grew lighter, the whispers ceased, and the family finally felt at home. But sometimes on quiet evenings, the faint scent of lavender would waft through the halls, a gentle reminder of the spirit they had helped find peace.